Hello! Today we'll be discussing in this humble video presentation the Scott Odell Award for Historical Fiction. Scott Odell created this award for the sole purpose of inspiring authors to create captivating historical fiction for young readers. He wanted this award to promote fascination within children of history that has shaped the world around them. Nominated books must meet the following criteria. They must be intended for children or young people. They must be published by a U.S. publisher. They must be written in English. The setting must be South, Central, or North America, essentially the New World. And the author must be a U.S. citizen. The Scott Odell Award was founded in 1984, which was 5 years before his death in 1989. Some might say the award emerged as some sort of legacy of Scott Odell, who wrote several books of historical fiction intended for young audiences himself. There are no age restrictions to this award. I would say the awarded books are intended for a wide range of children, upper-level elementary students like the 3rd through 5th grade, and middle school students like the 6th through 7th grade. The awarded books are chapter books for children in that general age range of 8 to 14 years old. I believe this intended audience lines up with what is suggested to be an essential goal of the Scott Odell Award, to increase awareness of different human experiences to young readers, because history is human experience. Because it is not all sunshine and rainbows, history, if wanted to be explained correctly, in my opinion, is not intended for younger children who are not ready for the severity of most human experiences in history, such as like slavery, the Holocaust, Japanese internment camps in World War II. History requires a deeper level of understanding and empathy that upper-level elementary students and middle school students are proven to have. From ages 8 to 14, this is also when you begin to learn national history and the challenges of what certain groups of people faced in the past and still today. With these ideas in mind, this explains why the historical fiction awarded the Scott Odell Award are chapter books that can be read by upper-level elementary students and middle school students. Most of the books that have received the Scott Odell Award are plainly historical fiction, meaning they do have some elements of historical truth within the text, but really they just tell a fictionalized account of a child experiencing a specific historical event. But with the Scott Odell Award, there's a variety of identity categories addressed, which is nice. It gives us a fair representation of the kinds of conflicts these identity categories might face, but some of them do not give us an accurate representation of the historical experiences of certain identities, particularly ones with race. There are a handful of Scott Odell awarded novels written by white authors that do not handle certain cultures with some sensitivity or have shown little historical research within their writing. The most prominent example that comes to mind is the first novel to have received the Scott Odell Award, The Sign of the Beaver, about the interaction between a boy who is a new white settler and the grandson of a Native American chief in the wilderness of Maine. Recent editions of this book have come with an introduction by a different author that essentially discusses how culturally insensitive this book is, which it is, and why is it racially insensitive? Well, it whitewashes many terms and the language that the Native Americans used. It is a very outdated novel, but the author of the apologetic introduction said it was an important piece of historical fiction nonetheless, with its cross-cultural interaction. Another example is a book called Streams to the River, River to the Sea, a fictionalized account of Sacagawea by Scott O'Dell himself. Scott O'Dell has done extensive research of New World indigenous cultures. However, he has admitted to using most of his time in writing his novels to create a more entertaining historical fiction piece, meaning he makes up a lot of fictionalized material around a real-life historical event or person. Reviews have also said that the text is pretty outdated and sexist by having a book with a female protagonist and romance interchangeable. More recent books are better historically researched, but the two novels awarded the Scott O'Dell Award about North American indigenous cultures are culturally insensitive and not entirely accurate. So fortunately, I have had no issues with accessibility of books that I've received the Scott O'Dell Award. Most of these books can be found in Pickler Library, the Adair County Library, and my own hometown library, which suggests most of these books are considered family-friendly books and do not heavily deal with controversial subjects. In my opinion, I think the Scott O'Dell Award could use some more diversity, not only with their authors, but their novels. Some Scott O'Dell Award books had more I think Scott O'Dell Award books would have more opportunities if they did not limit the setting of the novel to Central, South, and North America. If they went outside of those regions, if they allowed books with settings outside those regions, I think they could diversify their collection. But I do think the Scott O'Dell Award is successful at getting children to read about important concepts in history, for they have picked the various novels over topics such as slavery, the Civil War, World War II, the Great Depression, and many more.